When I was young, I have a lot of fear about war. I afraid all kind of violence because at that time it's like the end of Cold War. The war in Cambodia, in Laos and Vietnam is going to end at that time. So I heard a lot of story in the war, a lot of violence thing that make me scared a lot. I have a bad dream, nightmare, almost every night. I don't want to live in the war. I want peace. I want something peaceful and calm. I want to be with my family. So at that time, I have to make decision to go to Philippines. I went to Philippines. It's the first time for me to travel overseas. Even I cannot speak English because they have pilgrim peace walk in Philippines. I walk with them from Luzon, in the north of Luzon to the south of Luzon. I feel like I have to do something to support peace everywhere in the world. That's my feeling at the time. But when I came back, I thinking about myself more. Actually, I myself create a lot of violence in my life. But I try to hide it. I try to hide my violent side. I don't want to see it, but I still have it. Like when I watch the documentary on National Geographic about hyena, about the African wild dogs, about lion, that they hunt animal for eating. I think those animals are so cruel. They're so violent. They catch a baby deer and eat them alive. I feel very bad, very scared to see those things. I feel I'm lucky that I'm human. I can live without killing. That's what's my feeling at that time. But when I think deeply, I can see that that's not real. That's not true. That kind of belief is not true because I create a lot of violence, but I hide it in some kind of form that I will not see it. For example, I eat chicken. I feel like I did not kill chicken, I just go buy from the market. I did not kill them, but somebody killed them already. So I bought it from the market or somebody gave it to me. So I create violence, but in a complicated way. Because when I don't kill chicken, I let the company kill the chicken. That is the cause of bigger violence for animal. Because when we raise animal in the farm, they have to be tortured a lot. Every chicken, they never sleep. They cannot sleep because they were forced to eat all day, all night, eat and sit, eat and sit. They cannot walk more than 20 steps. And 45 days, they need to be sent to the slaughterhouse. Chicken for eggs, we eat eggs every day. But it's full of violence to have eggs. Because the chicken that lay eggs, they have to keep them in the small cage all their life. They never turn left or turn right. They sit there, they walk in the front one step, walk back another step. They eat 1 grams of food, 100 grams of food per day, but they need to lay 2 eggs per day. Pig is the same thing. Pig cannot walk in the farm. They stay in a small cage. They eat and sit, eat and sit. After a few months, they will be killed and then become our food. So this animal, they were tortured seriously before we kill them and eat them. But I feel good that I didn't see any part of it. I don't need to be responsible for it. So this is the way I hide my violent side. And then I feel proud of myself that I'm a good person. So I become vegetarian for a while because I feel like it's so violent to eat animal. But in the same time, when I think it deeply, to be vegetarian, it does mean I did not create any violence for this earth. Because when I eat vegetable, eat grain, but I did not grow it myself. Most of vegetable come from chemical farming. So most of the farm, they use chemical a lot to kill everything. Kill bugs, kill worm, kill caterpillars, kill butterfly, kill bees, microorganism, everything die. So it's not different from eating meat. I feel like I cannot avoid violence in my life. Even sometimes when I feel good, when I have dogs. I used to have 2 dogs in my life. I feel like I'm very nice person. I love dogs, I love animals, I want to take care of them. But actually when I think deeply, I can see the dark side of myself in there. I can see big violence in what I call love to the dogs. Because when I have dogs, I want the dog to behave in the way that I want them to be. I want them to be loyal to me. I give them food, get special food when they obey me. And I don't let them have sex. They cannot have baby anymore. So the reality is I just want to have dog as my slave to serve my feeling. That's the one kind of my violence that I found in myself. After contemplate deeply, I can see that life full of violence. We cannot live without violence. Even we become vegetarian, we grow our own food, but we still use money. When we use money, we need to deposit money in the bank. So the bank give our money to the company use our money to make weapon, to make chemical, to do many bad things too. So the war in Middle East, the war in Ukraine, the war in Vietnam, in Laos, that's all our money. Everybody involved with that because we put our money in the bank. So life is violence. We cannot avoid violence. But how can we be in peace? How can we have peace? I want to be in the peaceful world. I want to have a peaceful life. How can I do that? So it's a big conflict, big question in my head a long time. Until at the end, I got the conclusion that life is violence. Nobody lives without violence on this earth. Every life, we need to create violence. But what we can do is how can we limit it violence? How can we decrease our violence? That's the most important thing. We cannot live without it, but how can we have less? That's what we can do. That's my conclusion at that time. So the way I can do is just how can I decrease my consumption? Because when we consume things with no limit, that means we create violence with no limit. In our world, in our life now, we were encouraged to consume as much as you can to make economic growth, to make wealth, so we will be rich. That's what we want to do. But that is violence. The whole thing is violence. That's why we have so much violence everywhere. What I can do is I need to come back to myself. How can I start peaceful spot in my mind first? The peaceful spot that I can do is whenever I consume less, that means I create less violence. That is peaceful. So after that, I practice to have less stuff. I will have only what I need, but I will not have what I want so much. And then I will not have a lot of saving money. I use money. I work for money. I use money like a normal people, but I will not save a lot of money. I will have it just to make my life easy, make my life flow easily. That's all. But I will invest more in the soil. Peace starts from the soil. When we consume less, that means the soil can heal itself faster. When the soil can heal itself, it propagates more life on this earth. So when I have surplus in my life, when I have surplus of my energy, surplus of money, surplus of everything, I just put into the soil. Develop the soil, help the soil to be alive again. Don't use any chemical. I stopped using all kind of chemical in all of my land. And then cover the soil. Don't let the soil exposed to the sun too long. Cover them. No burning anything in the soil. And grow more trees. When I start to do this thing, I can see the soil start to be looser and looser. I see more worm, more caterpillars, more centipede, more millipede, more cricket, more bird, more thing. Many things grow up more and more. There are so many life in my land. When I see many life, all of them are one part of my life. Because all of them work hard to support each other, including me, to be alive on this earth. When I look around, I feel peaceful. I feel peace. I am in peace. I feel relaxed. I feel light after that. So I still create some violence to make my life alive. But I did not accumulate more. I did not increase it more. But I try to limit, make it smaller, smaller, smaller. It's impossible to live without violence completely, but we can live with less violence. Now, I feel like I'm equal to hyena. I'm equal to wild African dog. I'm equal to lion. I'm not better than them because I still have something more than them. Because those animals, they eat just enough. Eat just what they want to eat. The rest they share for another life. They did not accumulate. They did not save it like me. So they're still better than me actually. But I feel like I'm not very far from them. I'm very close to them. They're higher than me. So when I come back to the soil, be with the soil, I feel peace. I can see this is peaceful way of living. So I'm not good to go out to campaign to encourage people to work for peace, but I can do by myself. That's what I can do. Peace, peaceful life. It starts from here and from the soil where I'm standing now. This is only thing that I can do. My tiny life can do this much in this life. This is my experience, my feeling. It may be not the right thing for most of people, but it helped me to feel relaxed. That is enough for me. I feel good now.